Hello, Cryptowisers. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Milton, and I will be your captain for this video. Well, today is the day. I have been waiting for this video for a very long time. Today, we're finally going to be doing a deep dive into one of my very favorite projects, PolkaSwap, by the team at Sora. PolkaSwap, one of the major dexes in the crypto space. There is so much to go through on this amazing project that just did their soft launch a couple of weeks ago. So let's not waste any time. You know what to do. Buckle up, because this is going to be another exciting episode of Cryptowise. All right, Cryptowisers, let's get into this. So if you are new to the channel, you might not know, but I made an original video on Sora and the anticipation of PolkaSwap months ago now. Okay, that was now 5 months ago. It's this video here. And in that video, I do talk a lot about Soramitsu, which is the parent company that is behind PolkaSwap. But PolkaSwap is not the only thing that they are building. This is a very serious blockchain company. Their tagline is designing a better world through decentralized technologies. As you can see here, they are working with the National Bank of Cambodia through their Bakong project. We are pleased to announce Bakong, the collaboration between Soramitsu and the National Bank of Cambodia. Bakong is Cambodia's only integrated payment system that allows you to do everything: e-wallets, mobile payments, online banking, and financial applications, all in one place. So this is a very experienced, very accomplished blockchain company, Soramitsu, and they are behind PolkaSwap. Okay, they are one of the major Polkadot players. They've been collaborating with Polkadot since 2018. And actually, the founder of Soramitsu originally met with Polkadot when it was launching 2017. He was part of the initial group that got pitched on this idea of Polkadot, and he has been working alongside them since. And you can see here on their website, use case partners, there are so many companies that they are working with, including big corporations like Panasonic. And you can see their core team here, their CEO, Makoto, and the rest of his team. Very accomplished, very serious team with a lot of experience. Okay, you got to understand in crypto, there are a wide range of teams, okay? A lot of people putting out blockchain projects here, there, and everywhere. Some of them more serious than others. I would say it doesn't get any more serious than a company like Soramitsu. So you can trust that these guys know what they're doing, and they are building something extremely ambitious with PolkaSwap. This is not just another Uniswap clone. Okay, obviously anything can happen in the growth of a company, in the growth of a blockchain crypto project. Nothing is guaranteed, but I think that PolkaSwap really has a chance to be up there as one of the major dexes in the space, including Uniswap, including Thorchain, projects that are revolutionizing, rethinking what dexes can be, what a decentralized economy can look like. I honestly believe that PolkaSwap has an amazing chance to be at the center of the Polkadot ecosystem as the major DEX in that space. But of course, they're going to have a lot of competition. But it's amazing that they've been able to be the first mover in the space, especially with the amount of thought and detail that has gone into the planning and strategizing around this project. Alrighty, so let's actually get into PolkaSwap itself. The thing to remember about PolkaSwap, it's built on Substrate, which is the language of Polkadot. Most Polkadot projects that have launched now are actually built on Ethereum, and they're just calling themselves Polkadot projects. PolkaSwap is actually one of the first major projects that I know has been actually built on Substrate, and now is just waiting for a Parachain so that it can lock in to the main Polkadot relay chain. But the whole design, all the tech is already in Substrate. And I've talked about this before on the channel. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. PolkaSwap actually did a soft launch on April 27th, and it did not go well. Okay, the site was down for many hours on that day. The bridge didn't work for many days, maybe up to a week later. I mean, it worked, but there was congestion. No one lost any funds as far as I know, but it took sometimes days or weeks for people to be able to bridge over from Ethereum on to PolkaSwap. But this is the danger of when we are in a bull cycle for crypto. You get a ton of new people into crypto. So if you're new to crypto, listen to me. You need to be able to distinguish between projects that are basically just a website being put on old tech, given a different brand, and whether when they launch and things are going wrong, whether it's because their team is incompetent or don't know what they're doing or are scamming you, versus a project like PolkaSwap, which is being built on brand new tech and is a super ambitious project. You have to have patience with these ones because these ones are the ones that end up being the gems. Okay, I still remember version 1 of Uniswap, very different than version 3 that just launched. These things improve over time. So, although I was very disappointed with the soft launch because I was so excited about it and I had been anticipating PolkaSwap launching, the fact that they're one of the first actual legitimate Polkadot projects launching on Substrate, it made a lot of sense that they needed some time to work out the kinks. And that's going to continue. You got to be patient with PolkaSwap because the other thing about this company is they're in for the long haul. They're not going to try to just hype something quickly for the sake of it. You're not going to see them try to just pump the price in the short term. They're thinking long term all the way. That's going to be frustrating in some ways because they're just honest about it. When you want certain features right away, these things take time. They're building something from scratch for a brand new network. We're also used to working in Ethereum, and we've heard the word Polkadot for so long, we expect it to just be ready. But these things take time, especially the ones that are worthwhile, building something real. All right, so let's just walk through the basic mechanics of PolkaSwap. This is the interface here, very much like all other dexes. It works very much the same, although in my opinion, it's one of the better looking dexes out there. So you've got your swap interface here where you can swap any token that is on here. Again, this is new, so not every token is on here. It's a decentralized platform, so anyone can add a token pair if they want, very much like Uniswap. We're going to be talking through the tokens in detail. There are 3 tokens that are part of the PolkaSwap ecosystem that are native tokens to the platform, and they are the Pswap token, the Val token, and here this XOR token. And I'll walk through exactly what all 3 of them are, what they do, how they fit into the ecosystem. But as you can see here, many tokens already added. You've got Aave, Alpha, even smaller ones like Audio, Badger, Balancer. You got Band, Bat. So a lot of people have already added a ton of coins on here. Kylan, one of my faves, as you all know, is already on here. So there are a ton and there'll be more and more added. All right. And unlike Uniswap, that is ERC20 only, PolkaSwap is a cross-chain DEX. So in theory, you will be able to add any token from any ecosystem down the road. Okay, so that is the swap. Very much, you've got your slippage tolerance down here. You can customize it. Okay, very similar to other ones. Then you've got your pool. This is where you would add liquidity if you want. And we'll talk about the perks and rewards of adding liquidity later in the video. This is the Hashi bridge. So this is something major that they built, and this is what made the soft launch not go as well, but this is complicated tech, guys. So they built their own bridge so that you can import your ERC20 tokens from Ethereum and bridge them here onto PolkaSwap. And I've been using it now. It works very well. It's about a 7 or 8 minute time to get your tokens from Ethereum here onto PolkaSwap. And this is how the bridge works. Okay, so you're going to have to connect 2 wallets. So this brings me to the wallet situation right now for PolkaSwap. This is what is going to be a barrier for some people for using PolkaSwap in the near future, because you're not going to be able to use a lot of the wallets that you're used to using. Okay, so for the bridge, you would connect your MetaMask wallet. I think it's only MetaMask that you can use for the bridge. I might be wrong about that, but right now I think it's only MetaMask. Obviously, they'll be adding more wallets down the road. So you would add your MetaMask with the tokens that you want to bridge over to PolkaSwap. And of course, you would, like anything, need some Ethereum to pay for the gas fees for the bridge. But this is where it's different. You need a PolkaDot.js wallet, and that's mine right here. I'm already connected. Milty's Polkadot wallet. And like MetaMask, it's a browser wallet. Honestly, I had not actually used the PolkaDot.js wallet before PolkaSwap launched. It's pretty easy to learn. I'm sure you can find videos on it, but this is what the extension looks like here. I'm using Chrome, so I just downloaded it for Chrome. You can also do it for Firefox, but you will need a PolkaDot.js extension wallet. And I gotta say, the wallet's not as user-friendly as some of the wallets you're used to on Ethereum. Polkadot is new. It hasn't even launched yet, but trust me, it's going to change very quickly. You're going to be able to get amazing, very user-friendly wallets for Polkadot very soon. I have no doubt about that. But right now, you're going to have to be using this Polkadot.js wallet. But anyway, you need both wallets connected here to the bridge, and then you would just send your ETH tokens to PolkaSwap, and they become compatible to PolkaSwap. And then once your tokens are over on PolkaSwap, you don't need to connect your MetaMask anymore. So now that all my tokens are over here, I can just use PolkaSwap with this Polkadot.js wallet. This is the wallet I use on PolkaSwap. If I want to swap something, this is the wallet I use. If I want to add liquidity to the pool, this is the wallet I use. So you only need your MetaMask ETH wallet to get tokens from Ethereum over here to PolkaSwap. Alrighty, so that's the bridge, and then you've got account. This is pretty great. It shows you everything in your wallet, but then if you press activity here, that will give you the history of all your swaps, all your adding of liquidity, anything you've done on PolkaSwap, you can see under activity. This reward section, this was for anyone who already had XOR or was farming Pswap with their XOR liquidity tokens over on Ethereum. So that's what I was doing. I was farming Pswap for a long time. And then I also had XOR, so I got airdropped Val and I earned some Pswap. So if that's you as well, then you just come here, you connect your Ethereum, MetaMask, and it will show you your rewards. You can claim them. And once you claim them, they are automatically already in your Polkadot wallet. And then here, just some quick info here about PolkaSwap. As they say, it is the DEX for the interoperable future. One of the things we love about Polkadot is that it is interoperable. It is being built so that it can work with other chains from the ground up. So PolkaSwap is a cross-chain exchange of assets, simple creation and listing of new assets, and the easiest swaps ever. It's also faster trading and cheaper trading than over on Ethereum. Boundless liquidity, as PolkaSwap combines multiple liquidity sources under a common liquidity aggregation algorithm, operating completely on-chain in a trustless, decentralized way, so that when a trader calls the swap function, the liquidity aggregation algorithm fills orders using the best offers across all liquidity sources. And those liquidity sources can be other DEXs or order books or other API-driven sources. And this is super important. This is big for the Polkadot ecosystem. PolkaSwap is an open source project, meaning anyone can add more liquidity sources by making contributions to the PolkaSwap code base. And here, they're not just talking about adding a liquidity pool, which you can also do, but here they're talking about using the code, using the APIs to be able to access other liquidity. And also because it's open source, you're going to see a lot of people using the code, using the APIs to create all sorts of different projects around what PolkaSwap is doing. They'll be able to incorporate it as a DEX in other projects, or just build projects around it like we see with Uniswap. Swap any token. This is obviously huge. Go beyond the limits of current DEXs by adding tokens from the Polkadot ecosystem as well as other blockchains. Create, list, and trade your own tokens on the Sora network. And this is what I was saying before. The core infrastructure uses Parity Substrate, which is more scalable than Ethereum and does not use expensive mining for consensus. All right, so that's the basic look at what PolkaSwap is, what it does. Now let's go a bit deeper into the nitty-gritty. The thing that makes PolkaSwap pretty special is the economic model, the tokenomics of the three tokens, how they all work together. So let's take a bit of time to walk through all three of the tokens for PolkaSwap. So as I said, you've got the Sora token, which is the main governance token of Soramitsu. That's the XOR token. You've got the Val token, which is the Sora validator token, and the Pswap token, which is the native token to PolkaSwap. All right, so the main token here is the XOR token, as it is 1/2 of every liquidity pool on PolkaSwap. So if we see here, like Ethereum on Uniswap, every liquidity pool is going to be half XOR. Okay, now the thing that makes XOR a bit different is it is controlled by this token bonded curve. So essentially what the token bonding curve is a smart contract that takes as input some token and outputs a new token. And there's a plethora of possible variations of this, but Sora's using a simple model where there are two linear functions, a buy price function and a sell price function. So even though they're saying they're using a simple model, it's still kind of complicated, and we won't get into the nuts and bolts of it here. But all you need to know is if you're buying XOR from the bonding curve, it means that it can create as much XOR as the economy is dictating it needs at any given time, and then vice versa. If you sell it back, you're taking that XOR away, and it's kind of going to balance the price in that way because the price is being dictated by the supply and demand of the bonding curve. So it kind of controls it in that way. And let me just show you in real time what this means. Okay, so here I am on PolkaSwap and I want some XOR. Now down the road, you're always going to probably want it on this smart function because this is going to just get you the best price. But for now, they're incentivizing people to buy directly from the token bonding curve. If you buy XOR on PolkaSwap using the token bonding curve with either DAI or ETH right now, you will get a lot of rewards back in Pswap. And I'll talk about that in more detail because we'll go through the reward section for Pswap. But so this TBC, that's what that means. That's the token bonding curve. So if you pick that and you use some DAI or some ETH to buy XOR, let's say I'm going to buy $1,000 worth of XOR and I've chosen token bonding curve. So this XOR is essentially being created. So it's being minted from the bonding curve as it's needed. And then right now, to incentivize people to buy XOR from the bonding curve, they are offering this Pswap strategic rewards, as you can see down here. Now, apparently, it's not actually showing the right amount. They're trying to work on this. They're trying to fix this. I think it would actually be more than this right now, but perhaps not. I'm not quite sure, but I know that they did say there was a bug in this that they're trying to fix. But as you can see, even for $1,000 here, if I bought it from the bonding curve, I would be given 671 Pswap. So if you're interested in XOR and buying some XOR, especially if you want to give liquidity to PolkaSwap, you're going to need some XOR. I suggest for now, while they're giving out these rewards, use the token bonding curve. But just to go back, so this is an important aspect of it. It means there is endless liquidity for XOR. There's no set supply. It is based on the token bonding curve. It's based on supply and demand. So the XOR token has no actual max supply. And right now we can see it's at $648 worth of value with a market cap of 226 million. So obviously XOR, a key token. And again, it's the governance token of Soramitsu. So it will probably, the range of price for Sora will get smaller and smaller and smaller. It won't quite be a stable coin, but because of this being minted when it's needed and being burnt when it's not needed, it almost acts like a stable coin for the whole system. All right, and then the second token is the Sora validator token. Right now it's sitting at $5.94, and it does have a max supply. Its max supply is 100 million tokens, but it has a very small circulating supply right now. And to be honest, with the valuation price of these tokens, all three of them, it's hard to gauge right now because PolkaSwap just launched. It's starting to be used. All of the price value on them right now is based on speculation, on the excitement of the project. But now that PolkaSwap is here, as it builds, as it grows, I imagine that we're going to see these tokens kind of land in an area, a price area, and then grow from there. I own all three and I have not been selling any of them. I'm excited to use them in the ecosystem and help build out PolkaSwap. But going back to what Val is, so as XOR is becoming a token that has forward price guidance, a new token will be added to the ecosystem that captures value related to the growth and use of the ecosystem. This token is tentatively called Val and is a staking rewards token that incentivizes validators to join the Sora version 2 network. Economically, this also adds the ability to determine long and short sentiments as the market, as price trends for Val can reveal the preferences of market participants. So Val tokens are given to validators and nominators as a reward for staking. So obviously, as a decentralized platform, to secure the platform, to ensure its decentralization, you need stakers, you need validators, you need nominators, and to reward them, that is what this Val token is for. All right, third, last but not least, we finally have the Pswap token. So PolkaSwap is the rewards token for PolkaSwap, so that when you add liquidity, when you're part of the liquidity pools, you will be rewarded in Pswap. And Pswap has a total supply of 10 billion tokens. That's a lot of tokens, but it's going to take a very, very long time for all of them to hit the market. So even though it sounds very high, they have really thought out the circulating supply. And this is not, okay, none of these tokens are what you're used to, where there's been a private sale and then an IDO. And so you've got all these public people who own a bunch of the tokens. And then there's a bunch of IDO people who own a bunch of tokens. No, fair launch, all of these. So there's tokens for the team and then people who buy them who are part of the Sora economy, the Sora ecosystem. That's it. So in that way, the tokenomics of this project are really good. Okay, and as I said, Pswap is the reward token for PolkaSwap. So you can either buy some or you can earn some. And right now there are 3 ways to earn Pswap. You can add liquidity to PolkaSwap. You can buy XOR from the token bonding curve, like I showed you, with either ETH or DAI, or you can be a market maker, which means that you have to trade at least 1 XOR 500 times a month. So let's go through the liquidity provision rewards. As a liquidity provider, like on Uniswap, you will get a fee for every swap that is traded in the pool that you are in, and this is a 0.3% fee. But because they just launched, they're also adding strategic bonus Pswap tokens. Okay, so if you are holding XOR instead of keeping it idle, you can add liquidity to PolkaSwap. So you will earn PolkaSwap fees no matter what pool you are in, but you get the strategic bonus Pswaps if you contribute to XOR Val, XOR Pswap, XOR DAI, or XOR ETH pools. So any of those pools, you will get double the rewards in Pswap than if you're part of any of the other pools. So again, that's XOR Val, XOR Pswap, XOR DAI, or XOR ETH. But there is a trick here. Something to remember. You only get those double rewards if you're keeping at least 1 XOR in each pool. So like Uniswap, it's got to be even. You have to have 1 XOR and the equivalent of the other token. Just make sure, because of impermanent loss, if you put 1 XOR and the equivalent of ETH, that XOR might go down because of impermanent loss. So you're going to have to top it up to make sure that it stays at that 1 level to get those double rewards. All right, I already went through buying on the bonding curve. That's another way to get Pswap. And then the market maker rebate. So all you market makers out there, you heavy traders, if you trade at least 1 XOR 500 times a month, you will get a bunch of Pswap in rewards. Okay, so they have dedicated a huge chunk of Pswap to reward people in those 3 ways. And here you can see these are the pools that I am in. I put some XOR Val, I put some XOR Pswap, XOR Ocean, and XOR ETH. And of course, all my Kylan right now is staked on MantraDAO, but I'm going to take some out and add some Kylan XOR as well. But the key ones for the double rewards here are XOR Val, XOR Pswap, XOR ETH, and XOR DAI, which I am not in. And if you're new to crypto and you don't know what DAI is a stable coin, so it's basically pegged to the US dollar. One DAI, one US dollar. It seems to be the stable coin of choice for PolkaSwap. All right, and talking about Polkadot and Parachains, we've been talking about them a lot on the channel because they are coming soon. And actually more news came out today. Gavin Wood came out with a blog post, and it looks like the actual Polkadot Parachains are coming sooner than we thought. We knew Kusama was starting right away, but I kind of always assumed that they would fill Kusama and then do Polkadot. Not so. Once they establish the parachains on Kusama, they're going to be moving to DOT pretty quickly. And so we could be seeing DOT parachains, Polkadot parachains in the coming weeks. Okay, but an interesting nugget here on PolkaSwap and Sora. They are going to get a parachain, mark my words, but they're not doing a crowd loan. So the way they're raising DOT and Kusama for their parachain, again, goes back to the token bonding curve. If you buy XOR using DOT or Kusama, I don't know if this has started yet, but at some point this will be what will happen. You use DOT, you use Kusama, buy it on the token bonding curve, you'll get XOR back. They'll also give you rewards, Pswap rewards for doing so, and they're going to use that DOT and Kusama to get the parachain. They are confident they're going to get enough DOT and Kusama that way to get the parachain, or they've got their own reserves or whatever. But in any case, they're not doing a crowd loan. How do I know this? Well, the CEO, Makoto, recently did an AMA. There's a great recap here on polkamap.io. This is a great site. I don't know who runs it. Whoever does, thank you so much for it. So they did a full transcript here of this AMA. So a lot of questions that I had were answered here, and I'll just walk through some of the key ones here. One question is, are you planning to have a lending platform like Aave on Sora or PolkaSwap? He says, sure, anyone can build this on top of the Sora network and PolkaSwap, and then also mentions that Aave is trading on PolkaSwap already. So if the team at Aave wanted to build a Polkadot version of Aave, they could do it on Sora or PolkaSwap, or anyone else can do a lending platform because, again, it's open source. They asked when the Sora Parliament was going to start. Still quite a lot to build before the Parliament is fully operational. Vision for Sora is that it's a decentralized economy that is run by the Sora Parliament. There is a whole system and theory behind it. I encourage you to go to the Sora Medium pages and learn all about their vision for how the Parliament will work. When full launch with .Kusama Bridge soon. Polkadot.js extension is a joke. Do you plan any better alternative extension for using PolkaSwap? Another wallet will be supported soon in addition, so good to know. Unfortunately, the Polkadot ecosystem is still very young and basic tools are still being created. It will certainly get better over time, like I said earlier in the video. So for now, you got to use the Polkadot.js extension wallet. But trust me, when DOT launches, there's going to be a ton of devs creating all sorts of awesome wallets. And speaking of, Sora is actually building a mobile wallet. It's kind of in its test phase right now. You can download it, play around with it if you want. It's available in the App Store and Google Play. PolkaSwap's not incorporated in it yet, but it will eventually be. Looks like a very cool wallet. Still very early stages. I don't use it yet, but I will once PolkaSwap is incorporated and it kind of advances. But just an example of the kind of thing you can expect on Polkadot. So it says, what other features besides liquidity aggregation are you planning for PolkaSwap? He says, really, it's up to the community. Again, it's decentralized, but synthetic assets, oracles, and liquidity leveraging are planned, among many others. So again, this is just the beginning for PolkaSwap. Touches on the Fearless wallet here. When is it going to incorporate PolkaSwap? Several months. He does troll Vitalik a lot in this AMA. It's pretty funny. He's definitely not a fan of Solidity or EVM networks. He's a huge fan of Substrate as a much better language and technology for blockchain. That is definitely for sure. That comes across loud and clear in this AMA. So anyway, again, it's polkamap.io. I encourage you to read the full AMA if you're interested. But The one thing that I did want to mention that is key here, because I know a lot of you will be asking, as of yet, you cannot see your rewards. It's going to be still a few more weeks. All those PolkaSwap rewards I said that you get, you're not going to be able to see them on the platform for a few weeks. Don't fret. They're being calculated. You're not going to lose out on them, but you won't be able to see them. And there's no information yet of the pools, like to find out the liquidity of them and all that sort of data that you get on Uniswap. Not here yet. It will be, but it's not here yet, just so that you know. But on the Sora wiki page, there is a page here, how to claim vested strategic Pswap rewards and LP fees. So this tutorial can be used to claim fees earned as a liquidity provider and to claim the vested strategic rewards earned when you buy XOR from the token bonding curve. So this page is wiki.sora.org, and it explains exactly how you can get your rewards. All right, so this is a great resource if you are a liquidity provider or if you've bought off of the bonding curve. All right, one last thing I want to talk about here, because I know it is a lot to take in. All right, let's just say you want to swap some XOR for some Val. I told you that they have this smart option. This just means they will give you the best price, either the token bonding curve or the XYK method. This will just pick the best one for you. As I said, right now, if you pick token bonding curve, it's going to be more expensive, but they're giving you a bunch of rewards for doing that. So if you'll notice, if you buy XOR from the token bonding curve, it'll probably be more expensive than what you see the price on CoinMarketCap, but you're getting the rewards to at least cancel that out, if not more. But what is this XYK? Well, there was a great thread on Twitter recently by Pswap Pixie, that's at Pswap P, and they explain it here in this thread. So I'll just walk through this quickly. It says the bull case for Pswap. Okay, so Pswap is the first XYK liquidity-based DEX that doesn't take a traditional approach of rewarding liquidity providers where the 3% liquidity provider fee is added back into the pool and rewarded to LPs by giving them a larger share of said pool. Okay, so on a normal DEX, on Uniswap, the other ones, anytime you swap, you pay that fee. That fee goes back into the pool, makes the pool larger, and so everyone who's in that pool gets a larger slice of the pie. You get it. But instead, what PolkaSwap does, that 0.3% transaction fee, that's used to market buy Pswap, burn it, and then remint part of the burned amount to LPs based on the volume of their pool. And so right now, at first, since it just launched, 90% of the burned Pswap is reminted. But over time, that's going to get less and less and less. So right now, every transaction fee, that permanently burns 10% of that fee in Pswap because they buy back Pswap and they burn that 10%. Over time, in 5 years, only 35% will go back to the LPs, meaning 65% of every transaction will be burned. Okay? So that's what that XYK liquidity means. So that's why there's these options. So every time you swap, PolkaSwap says, okay, well, can I get you a better price by buying it from the token bonding curve or from the XYK liquidity pool? So if you have it on Smart, it will just automatically get you the best price. So it's very advanced, very different. This is not some DEX clone, okay? Not that I have anything against those, okay? You know me, I love those. I love a ton of those clones. But just know this is much different, much more complex, much more innovative. If you're a Polkadot fan, you need to know about PolkaSwap and understand why people like me are so excited about it. All right, guys. Well, that was a huge one. Okay, a lot of info being thrown at you, but I hope it made some sense. And I hope you can tell how excited I am about Pswap. It's one of the first major projects to come out of Polkadot, guys. Polkadot is coming. It's coming so soon. This is going to change crypto, okay? We're going to have another major network. And this isn't going to be like those other networks that are ready and then they got to attract people to it. Okay, there are a ton of projects waiting for Polkadot to launch, and they're just going to be ready on day one. So we're just going to have this whole new ecosystem just here in crypto. It's going to be amazing. And PolkaSwap is going to be a major part of that, and it's the first one out there. So if you did find this video valuable, do me a favor, would you smash that like button, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that notification bell. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, my name is Milton. Until next time, over and out.